Check, check, check.
The Garnet on old pregame show. No inside info, no air conditioning, no problem. Vince, aside from being hot and sweaty, how are you today?
I'm doing good. No inside info, no air conditioning, a lot of humidity, a lot of problems, a lot of gnats out here right now, and
Here,
a lot
Vince,
of fire ants.
I'm going to make our life better. You ready for this? Here's what I want you to do. I'm going to remove yourself. I'm going to add myself, and now look at each other.
Oh, we can. There you go.
Yeah,
that looks a lot better.
Much better, right?
Much better. Now I know what's going on.
Welcome to Tallahassee. We are live outside Doak Campbell Stadium for game day with a very loud tailgate experience right nearby. Vince, let's start the show telling a little story before we get into the nitty gritty of the game. We pull up. We're the first ones here. We're always here.
Always the first ones here.
Our lot, and we're pulled up, and we see a car, 2 cars behind us, and people started to get out, even though the lots weren't open yet, and stand in parking spots, which is unusual.
Yeah.
And then once they all arrived and we all got in, we got our spot as usual. They set up perhaps the world's largest speaker setup, but they don't point it at their own tailgate. They point it to the world, and it's very loud.
It's very loud. Hey, first of all, we're in Lot 12, and we are in the breezeway here at Lot 12. And which is great because sometimes you get a little breeze through the breezeway, and plus we're not in the direct sun. But you may be able to hear the AC/DC concert going on, not more than 40 yards from here. But legitimately, they're serious about the tailgate. I will give them that. They have a whole table full of liquor and everything, and they've got music, and that's great. But, we've got our own music, and they legitimately have, these rock concert speakers pointed away from them to the rest of us, so we can't hear ourselves talk. And so if that happens to be your tailgate, congratulations on the technology you have. But man, turn your speakers away. I don't need to hear all that.
We have our own music, and actually, the shame is some of the music they played is fine.
Oh, it's fine,
but it's at 100 decibel level. But that's okay. You know what? We're old men. Garnet and old. If you are. I doubt those of you watching Pregame Line are new to the channel, but if you are, like and subscribe on YouTube. And we offer memberships as well. Hit join. We're going to do a members-only show. We're going to remind you guys, starting this Thursday, we're going to start our members-only show at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, right before the Garnet Old show. So the Garnet Old show for everyone will still be live streamed Thursday at 7. But from now on, every other week, Thursday at 6:30, we're going to do our members-only live stream and do kind of so everyone has a specific date and time to look forward to.
Yeah, I just threw out the schedule up here so everybody knows what's going on as far as the rest of the fall is concerned too. Here we are, 9/1 GNO game day. That's what you're listening to. You're watching right now. And if you're here in Tallahassee at the game, you still got time. I mean, the game is not till almost tomorrow, it seems like.
Yeah,
you could walk over here. You just need to bring your own water and maybe your own Hydro Pack. Come on a camel. It is hot. But these are the rest of the games we'll be at as well. And like Ryan said, our weekly streams are 7 p.m., but the members-only streams will start at 6:30.
I know we had a few people in our live this past Thursday say that they're going to stop by the tailgate. If any of you have citronelle candles or bug spray,
or an air conditioner,
help a brother out, because there are gnats, a lot of small not mosquitoes, flies and gnat like no-see-ums, and they are out in a plenty. And there's very little. I would say it's a very hot and still day in Tallahassee. Not a lot of breeze going on. In fact, where we are set up is the only breeze to be had.
Also, when we pulled in today, there was quite the contingent of fire ants in the area where we normally tailgate. And but I'm smart because I've been doing this for a while. I brought the Amdro and I have proliferated the area. So the next time we come here, the fire ants will have moved on to a different spot.
Before it gets warmer, Vince, I think we need a drink. I think besides all these
I
flies
think it's
flying
time.
around.
Yeah, let me throw up the camera here too, because there's some people here that decided to take it out of the sunshine and bring it into the breezeway. We are cracking open the Guinnesses right now. I did not bring these from Dublin. I brought these from home, but just in honor of JC, I got JC over there. Brought him a Guinness. There's some Jameson being imbibed over there as well, but Slanta, which is good health.
Doyle wants to know where we are.
Doyle, we are in lot 12, which is just to the side of the tennis center. So I know you're probably over by the circus tent, where the circus tent used to be, is where you usually do yours. So come on over, man.
Now, I will say this kind of encapsulates this user comment. By the way, Douglas is a longtime listener and a member of the YouTube channel. Thank you for being a loyal member, Douglas. He said, what's up, fellas? This is a must-win. I hope Mike has it turned around. It definitely is. If we were to start the year, God forbid, off 0-2, I mean, kiss the playoff chances goodbye, but it would be a bigger discussion at that point. And you will not hear Vince and I sugarcoating an 0-2 start if that were to happen today.
No, I try not to sugarcoat last week either. You caught me right after the game, and from the vantage point, I didn't get to see and a lot of the things that you saw from the TV copy. We had our problems, and but I'm not so sure that the problems aren't. I don't necessarily think that it's systemic for the whole year, but we'll find out tonight. This team that we're playing tonight is not as talented nor as deep or as experienced as the Georgia Tech team we played last week. So, yeah, we'll know. We'll know after night.
Quick brush up from I heard some things being brought up still from Georgia Tech side of things. They were playing a lower level team this week, but I heard some people saying that, it doesn't seem like they're scoring a ton of points. But here's the thing: if you actually go look at the drive chart, which I did, I watched the game live. But if you watch the drive chart, Georgia Tech was trying a bunch of things, not their usual offense. In fact, if you look at their first 4 drives, 80% of their snaps were throws, were passing. So clearly, when you're playing an outmatched opponent, which you're going to win, and they were playing a terrible team,
you need to let Haynes King do some stuff.
Yeah, you're going to try to build the playbook because they already know that they can run. They know that they can run. Now they did win, I think 35-3 is what the final was. But if you look at the entire first half, they were trying to have a lot of designed runs, which is not what they're going to do against teams with a pulse. So if anyone had a kind of a frustrating point about, man, they didn't even look that good, they were intentionally trying to build him the playbook a little bit more to get ready in case they need to be in passing downs later against ACC teams. But keep in mind, they're not going to do that when they get into conference play in real time. They're gonna run the ball.
No, and what a luxury. They came out with the win last week, and then they had to play Georgia State, I think, right? So,
yep.
What a luxury to be able to do that. Florida State's schedule, while it's not, the hardest schedule in the world, they start with 2 conference foes to start with, so you can't necessarily be, as Big Game James would say, playing with your food. Like, you got to go and take care of business if you can, and not try to figure things out.
Yeah, you have to imagine the perfect start for the Noles tonight would be, end of the first quarter, something like 14-3 or 17-3, or 0 or whatever.
Sure.
You really want to go into halftime at minimum, in my opinion, for me to feel comfortable on what we did in the first half, because Boston College will run the ball, but not nearly as much as Georgia Tech did, because Castellanos is actually a pretty decent quarterback. I mean, he played well against us last year. He's up and down. But the ideal start would be something in the realm at halftime. If you and I are talking and texting back and forth.
From the Champions Club.
Yeah, I'll be in the Champions Club. That is true. somewhere in the realm of us being, in the 24 to 30 point range at halftime. Maybe Boston College sitting somewhere between 3 and 10. I think that would be an ideal score. And then you go in, okay, anything from that point is just window dressing, good to see. But they what they can't have happen, Vince, is us to get in halftime and it's 7-7. That's when I would start saying, is this a bigger problem than just us being not really locked in for the Georgia Tech game?
Is there what's going to happen after Mike says, this is on me. I should have taken advantage of the things that were available to me, and I just didn't do that. Is that just lip service, or is he really going to do it today? Is Jalen Lucas really going to be incorporated past the first couple drives? Are they going to let DJ push the ball downfield? I mean, you don't have a rain problem today. You don't have a wind problem today. And Lord knows it's not 65 degrees. So if it's not just lip service and they're able to open the book up a little bit, and yes, they have to see what they can do, granted, because I don't think last week they can go away from that going, yeah, we know what we are. I don't think they know that at all. But if we are going into halftime and it's 7-3, or 14-10, it's gonna be tough.
People will be melting down. We'll be on Message Board Geniuses, which, by the way, if you don't follow Message Board Geniuses on X, you have to, because it's amazing. They basically go on all teams' message boards and find overreactions from games, which is great. But Vince, I think the key here is what I'm going to see if Mike Norvell was serious is if there are a few, Vince, shot plays in the first quarter, not just one. So what I mean by shot plays is plays greater than 15, 20 yards, taking shots down the field.
You have to take it. If you get them or not, I mean, you want to get them, obviously, but if you get them or not, you have to try them. You have to try them.
And with Hakeem Williams back tonight, right? And if I see Jalen Lucas a lot more in the game plan, which I'm going back to the last Garnet Old show, so weird because he was a primary focus in the first design drive. Clearly, they say he's talented, or else you wouldn't put a freshman in on the first drive of the first game of the year. But then he disappeared. He wasn't on the field until the fourth quarter. So Mike Norvell said as much in his press conference, right? And so I would expect in the first quarter to see a lot of eye candy with Jalen Lucas and some shots down the field. Now, I would also like to see less rotation. You muted.
I think you're going to see that. I mean, they thought they could get away with it, and they can't. At least not yet. They have to establish something. They have to establish some kind of continuity. And if the way college football is going right now, with less possessions, less plays during the game, you don't have time to be tinkering throughout the game. You have to get the ball in the end zone first, and then you can tinker with the game. I imagine that's part of the problem from last week. But whoever your best players are, they have to take more significant snaps, uninterrupted drives at the beginning of this game to get things going, to get points on the board.
Yep.
We got some people in the chat here, Ryan.
Yeah, I was going to point out Brett Taylor. How's it going? Long-time listener. Most important things to see tonight is DJ throwing the ball down the field. We saw it twice in the last game, twice. And both of them were really nice. One was completed.
Do or die, right?
One was, oh, man, that little toss to Roydell. No, it wasn't. It was Benson.
I don't recall.
The toss early on, DJ had a little throw to the running back out of the backfield, a slot in the slot.
Yeah, I don't recall who it was.
I also want to shout out. Roydell Williams, was it? Chris from Spear Addicts.
Hey, Chris.
Chris, well, I see you. Comment below. Well, I see you in the club, in the Champions Club today.
You won't see me. You'll see Ryan, apparently.
Yeah, in the club. So, and
Ryan's
by the way,
living the high life. Moving on up, George Jefferson.
If any of you want to get in the Champions Club right now, because of, let's be honest, Labor Day, it's tough for a lot of people to travel here because tomorrow's a work day for a lot of people. So not a very expensive game on the secondary market. Right now, I saw
Absolutely.
Champions Club tickets as cheap as $86 a ticket.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So not bad if you wanted to join me in the club. I also want to say hi to I believe, is that your daughter Gabby, or could it be another Gabby?
It probably is Gabby, my daughter Gabby, who is living her best life in Statesboro. By the way, Georgia Southern put up quite the fight against Boise State on Saturday. A lot of points scored in that game, not a lot of defense, and they had a chance in that game. And they late in the game they let 2 drives go, and they ended up losing.
For sure. I think we might have lost Vince on his internet, but we're going to let him get back connected. I do want to shout out Thomas, hoping for a heavy dose of Roydell Williams, Cam Davis, and eye candy with Jalen Lucas to open up the deep shots. Vince is back. His internet's working. I can see him moving. Well, it's kind of back. He's turning. He's burning. He's reconnecting. But hey, you know what? This is what happens when you use cellular connection. It goes up and down. You're back in, Vince. We can see you. You're not back again. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to continue on while Vince troubleshoots. Good thing that we both work in IT, Vince. That's all I'm saying here. Real quick, Doyle, he said he's coming by. I just want to let Vince know that he's coming by. So let's say hello to Doyle. One thing I'm looking for, honestly, is a steady passing game. I know they want to run. Mike, I know you want to run. But can we open it up a little bit? Don't treat DJ like he's a spring chicken. You know, he's been around the block. He's seen some things. He's beat us in Tallahassee at 8 o'clock at night in prime time before in a really good game that he played really well in. So I think it's time to take off the kid gloves off his utilization in the offense. And I think that will pay dividends. What do you think, Vince? You're back, by the way. We can hear you.
Yeah. Am I back?
Yes,
I'm
but
back.
you
Okay.
took me away.
I took myself out of the frame. Taking the training wheels off. Yeah, but you have to be able to do it at home, right? And you have to be able to do it against this team. And you cannot continue to play with your food. I mean, James Coleman says it that way all the time. You got to do what your team is good doing, which I think they're still figuring that out to a degree. But by continuing to rotate the guys like we talked about, and I think you have to put some points on the board first, then you can experiment.
Yeah, Douglas, you're absolutely right. Take the training wheels off a little bit. I think do if you do well. I'm listen. If anything was smooth last game, it was the design drive. Mike Norvell always does that really well. The first drive, Vince. Let me tell you what. Every game, you march right down the field. Do what you do well and focus on that. Now I want to go to Riz P. Raj, good to see you again in the chat. Looking forward to seeing the team show up that I was told would show up last week. For those of you who don't know, Raj is a Hurricanes fan. Raj, congratulations, because it appears that you have a good quarterback. To the chagrin of myself and Vince, it does look like Cam Ward might be pretty good. Also, Vince, if you want to hop on I don't know if we can have multiple people on a hotspot, but you know what's cool is Vince looks like he's really engaged on the show right now. He looks like he's focused on what I'm saying. Douglas,
I may be back again. Who knows?
You guys have to be extra loud because we're missing a lot of seats. Yes, absolutely. We do need to be extra loud.
That's not my fault. We're missing a lot of seats. But I'm going to bring the noise.
I like this comment from Hypnotic Anonymous. We need to beat that ass.
What? Hypnotic Anonymous. Is that from 51st Dates? Hip Hop Anonymous or
I hope so.
Big Daddy?
I've never seen him in the he or she in the chat.
No, it's a name
Welcome
I haven't
aboard.
seen before.
Also, another new Zendale hashtag Go Noles got to pass early and often stop running on every first, and I would say every second down. We ran on literally every second down. Hold on. I want to shout out Raj again, Miami Hurricanes fan. Raj, talent recognizes talent. Iron sharpens iron, right? And when I watched that game, I couldn't deny and pretend I wasn't seeing what I was seeing. Cam Ward looked like the real deal.
Here's the thing about that. And so I've seen a lot of this stuff on Twitter, on Facebook. There's a lot of people that don't necessarily follow the team as heavily as you do or I do or whatever. People, Florida State wanted Cam Ward. They did. They didn't not want him and pick DJU instead. Cam Ward wanted to go to the pros, and he tried out the pros, and he found out he was not going to get the round draft that he wanted.
And we had already taken DJ.
And we had already gone the DJU route. So that's the way it works sometimes. Cam Ward looks good, but Cam Ward also looked great against Florida. And the jury's still out. Florida looks pretty bad, but they may even be worse than what we thought.
Yeah, I really do. You think, Vince, that a lot of people forget the timeline, and they think that we had, like, Florida State was standing there with the two options, and we're like, you know what, DJ? They went with DJ after he had decided, Cam Ward said he was going to go pro, and then a week later, he goes to Miami.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do about that? Brett Taylor writes, FSU offense looked like Clemson offense, no vertical threats. Now, to be fair, early in that game, I don't blame Mike Norvell early in the game, Vince, for running the ball.
Right.
I fault him in the third quarter and early in the fourth until that final drive from being hesitant to throw after that. That's all. I do want to say, Philip, welcome to the chat. Should we expect to see a lot more pressure from D-line? No, I think you'll see nothing's going to change from the looks.
I think so.
I really don't. I don't think there was anything wrong with, like, our sets or our plays that we were calling.
Well, I mean, as far as
didn't execute.
I think as far as the lining up is concerned, maybe you don't see any different, but from we're just going to try to contain here. I think they're just say, you know what, we just go after him. And if we get burned, we get burned. This thing that happened last week with people not being able to set the edge and whatever, I don't think you're going to see. I think you're going to see a much more aggressive rush against the passer.
I mean, I hope so. But again, I don't think we need to change the scheme or playbook or anything. I think players just were in the wrong spot and didn't stay in their lanes. Philip writes, UF 1-11, maybe. I mean, as good to what I was talking about earlier with Cam Ward, as good as I think he looked, which I do believe he looked very good.
Yeah, he did.
You have to take it with a grain of salt, because is Florida really that bad? And I think the answer, based on the eye test, I think I text you in the second quarter, like, the eye test ain't great for Florida early on. I mean, just they couldn't run, and they wanted to. You could tell they wanted to run.
There is minimal to no cohesion on that team, and there's a lot of there's some talent. Don't get me wrong. The running back Montrell,
yeah, he was good.
He looked great. When Lagway came in, he did pretty well too. But, and I know a lot of Gator fans of mine are saying, hey, just play Lagway the rest of the way. And they're thinking that's going to make a huge difference. I don't know that it will, because
it could.
No, but you got a freshman quarterback that's going to be limited in what he knows. Not
with that schedule.
Not what he can do, but with what he knows. So at some point, defensive coordinators are going to be able to scheme toward his limited experience.
Yeah, and with that schedule, that's the big thing. You're going to be throwing a freshman out there into that schedule. Good luck.
Yeah, Samford's going to be tough.
Vince, if Florida State was playing UF schedule this year, I would be saying best case scenario was like 8 or 9 wins. Like, I'll be honest with you guys. Like, that schedule sucks. When I saw it, I was like, oh, good Lord. Now, I think their best case scenario after what I saw against Miami, I would say their best case scenario is like a 5 or 6 win season now. I really believe that. Best case. I think their worst is 2-3 wins.
Yeah. But, Ryan, this isn't the blue hair and orange show. This is Garnet and Old.
Absolutely. People are loving it in the chat, though. I appreciate
they
that.
are.
Here's what I want to – Chris from Spriatics, and I do trust Chris. He has a lot of people.
I do.
Knows. Tonight's fans will see that Georgia Tech D-line was really that good. So what he's saying is we'll be able to run the ball. And if you guys watched that Georgia, I don't forget the linebacker's name, the guy that looked like he was playing out of his mind with, like, face paint and everything.
Yeah.
That guy has a motor. He had a whole lot of what for in that game. And Georgia Tech played really, really well on defense, so it was really cool.
Hey, man, they played it. They played well enough to win, and they have enough talent to be able to win. And we, we keep rehashing last week. But with everything that went wrong last week, we lost on a walk-off kick. People need to get themselves together. And Doyle showed up. What's up, Doyle? Go Noles. That's right. Mahi Griller, love the show. It's damn hot out here in Tally. Yeah, what else is new? It's September 2nd. Huh? Oh, Mahi Griller is actually JC. I'll put the camera on here. JC is over here. JC, go to that way a little bit. People can see you. Mahi Griller right there. JC and Dawn and Shannon and I spent
Doyle.
Spent a lot of time in Dublin together, sharing multiple Guinness and other drinks. He already finished his.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers, man. Cheers, guys. Thanks for putting on the
Cheers, Doyle.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Oh man, Vince, how many? I asked you this earlier, but I don't think you could actually give me a count of how many Guinness you had in Dublin.
Yeah,
if you were to guesstimate.
Well, I know it's hard. It's hard to imagine, but let's just say that everywhere I went, a Guinness was had. So, every meal, hey, let's stop into this pub. So, we're there for 6 days. I maybe had a case of Guinness. Maybe two. JC says 2 cases of Guinness. It's possible. It's possible.
All right, Vince. Let's get into offensive keys of the game. I'm going to give my my player of the game. I think Hakeem Williams in more ways, and I don't only mean receiving. Hakeem Williams being back for this game in the pass blocking game and the screen game. Last week there were a couple screens that got blown up. Hakeem Williams is by far our best blocking wide receiver. He likes to do it. He's gigantic and he gets in the way. And you saw him last season, Vince. He would get in front of some dudes and run them down and get in front of people. Like, he's not afraid to run. And so I expect Hakeem Williams, not necessarily in stats, but in affecting the rest of the offense.
A difference in the game. Yeah.
To be the difference in the game today from the offense, just because he does so much other than just catching the ball.
You know who you, if we're going to talk about players, I'm going to go offense and defense, right?
Yep.
Cam Davis today. You're going to see a lot of Cam Davis today. And because it's too easy to pick like Jalen Lucas, right? It's too easy.
That's fun though.
It is fun, but I'm gonna say Cam Davis. I think somebody pointed out earlier in the show that he was the back that dropped the pass, and I don't think you're going to see a lot of that. You're going to see him making plays later today. From a defensive standpoint, go ahead.
I think from a defensive standpoint, honestly, I'm really, really excited to see Conrad Hussey. I think he's got a nastiness about him. I love the way he hits. When that man hits, being the millennial of the group, Vince, very much reminds me of a Greg Reed, Gator Bowl kind of player.
Mm-hmm.
Not the largest man, but when he hits you,
it comes with authority.
He has no regard for his health, which I appreciate. Because it's football, and football is a violent game.
And you don't have much regard for your health.
No, not at all. I mean, cheers, everyone. So, yeah, Conrad Hussey, I'm really excited to see him to get the play time. I think he brings the attitude that we were lacking last week, to be frank.
Yeah, from a defensive standpoint, I'm going to go with Azarie.
So we're both going backfield.
Yeah, defensive backs. Yeah. I would love to say Marvin Jones Jr. I would love to.
Yeah, we both would. But I think he'll be good this game. And I think as the year goes on, he'll get better and better and better. And by the end of the year, we could be talking, man, what a great player, right? But I think he's still getting his feet under him as far as a full-time starter position. Now, my dark horse pick of stats in the game, like stat monster.
Ryan Fitzgerald?
Yeah. I hope not, because that means we're in trouble.
Or not.
The tight end room, let's just say that.
Oh.
Because last week, we did not hit any seam plays, and let me tell you something. Mike Norvell loves his seams. He loves to throw the seam route. And we didn't see a whole lot of it. So look for the tight ends. I think they get a lot of touches today. Up the middle, in the just beyond, if you're playing, a cover 3, beyond the linebackers before you get to the secondary, right in that zone right there, about 15 yards deep. I expect to see a lot of seam passes up right in the middle of the field.
I'm good with that. we already gave scores, right? And I couldn't remember the score I gave.
Mine was 45-10.
I think mine was 38-24 is the score I gave. So those of you that are watching, by the way, there's 108 people watching right now.
Which is great.
I don't know where you're watching from. If you're watching from YouTube or Facebook or X, but if you wouldn't mind, go over to YouTube and like the show and subscribe.
Yep.
If you haven't already done so, Ryan and I are going to be doing these pregame shows every game. There'll be a postgame show. Matter of fact, this postgame show, Ryan, we're not actually going to do right after the game. We're going to do it tomorrow, just because it's going to be such a late night. But go like the show. And what was I saying?
One thing I do want to know from the people out there, those of you watching, put in the comments, because I'm actually interested in this.
Oh, scores. I want to know people's scores.
Real quick, before we get to that. So scores, yes, put it in the chat. But I want to know, all of you out there, we always do the pregame, the full setup, the headsets, the mics, everything. We have this whole setup because we're tailgating as well. Would you all prefer, in the future, in general, us to do an immediate postgame? I mean, like directly after the game with like our phones and headphones, or
it's a problem.
Or would you guys rather us do it the next morning or afternoon on Sundays, usually on a game day, and do a proper setup, headphones, mics, good sound, audio back at our house or hotel or whatever it is?
I mean,
we
could also do an instant reaction for 10 minutes and whatever. But the problem with doing it immediately after the game is, as we all know, the signal in Doak is absolutely abysmal, and it's
audio's
tough.
Trash.
It's tough to get it done right from the stadium, so it would take some time to get over here to the tailgate spot to be able to do it. So, yeah, let us know what you prefer there. But our intent is to, talk about the Noles before the game, after the game, as quickly as possible, and get as many of you involved as we can.
I believe that's the Philip Dugas, long snapper from the 2013. No,
it's not.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about, that though.
Yeah, that's Philip Dumars.
Yeah,
this is Philip Dugas, who's a friend of the family. But it is the Philip Dugas, though.
Yeah.
Felicia's here, by the way, everybody.
Jeff Hill predicts 38-14.
And by the way, Parker is here as well. You can see Parker in the tailgate chat, or the tailgate cam there as well. Speaking of Parker, I think you guys already know that Parker is employed with a college football statistics firm, and he's also going to be doing PFF stuff this fall as well. So he is going to be super busy, but he will be on our show quite a bit. He's going to be on this Thursday, and we got a special treat for him. We got his own walk-up music as well, walk-up video. So I'll be looking forward to that on Thursday as well.
Kilo G says we got to win by at least 17. Kilo G says I think Florida State about to kick there. I'm not sure what we're talking about. Lori, also a member on our YouTube channel, 28-17. I would hope for it to be a little bit wider than that, but you could be right. I
could take a win, though. I'll tell you that right now.
So here we have our response. Proper post shows preferred. It can be a little chaotic immediately after game. What we noticed is, you notice it across all the shows. Some shows you have one member of their team back at their house and they handle the post game live.
Right.
But there is a very good reason why you don't see people live at Doak doing immediate post game,
unless they're plugged in, like directly plugged in.
Yes, because the audio is terrible, the cellular signal is terrible, and there's a whole lot going around. Like, it's nighttime, so the lighting stinks. So we'll try it out this week, see how people like it, and then we'll make a decision on post game going forward if we wait to the next day, which I think would be a better. We'd have time to absorb what happened and give you a little bit better content. But
speaking of a lot of things going around, I'm feeling better, Ryan.
Thank goodness, because you've been around me all day. So when I messaged you yesterday and I asked you, you're like, no, I tested negative. I was like, oh,
I did test negative. So I wouldn't have come if I did not test negative, but here I am. I'm feeling about 100% right now, maybe 110%. What's Guinness? What is it, 110? I'm not sure.
I'm feeling 120%. We had 120 live for people for a second. So
yeah,
excited that a lot of you are coming hanging out here.
My gosh, this is a great question, actually.
All right, so DirecTV.
Yeah. Last night, by the way,
Go ahead.
last night I'm about to watch the USC LSU game, and I have the Direct TV stream product, right? And I've had it since it came online. It was called Direct TV Now long ago. I got the lifetime price, which really wasn't a lifetime price. But about 20 minutes before that game started, I clicked on the channel, and it says, "Oh, something's wrong with your channel." Then I clicked on another channel. Something's wrong with the channel. It's like, "Uh-oh, what's going on?" And yeah, Disney and Direct TV are not playing nice right now. So you do not get any Disney channels on Direct TV now,
including all ESPN channels.
Including all the ESPN channels, Disney, if you care, none of that. ABC stations that are owned by Disney, so not all of them are, but the ABC stations that are owned by Disney, you weren't able to watch that game last night. And that means also you will not be able to get the game tonight unless you maybe YouTube Live.
I've been a YouTube TV subscriber.
YouTube TV
for 3 years when I got rid of Comcast, and YouTube TV is awesome. Multi view for all college football games. The picture looks amazing. There's never any buffering or any kind of slowdown or delay. It works the app on the phone like when you're somewhere else.
It's great. Multi-game is the best part of that, right?
Yes.
So I've been apprehensive to switch just because I got the quote unquote lifetime price, which was $45 when I started, and now it's $108. Right. So
I've been trying to convince you for a while.
That's a lot of lifetimes, people. But this may be the thing that moves me. I'm tired of it, and I know at some point there'll be some kind of contract problem with YouTube as well.
Yeah.
And that is going to happen. Don't think for a moment that YouTube is like immune from this stuff. But as for right now, I would say do a trial to YouTube and go that route. And I know, Ryan, when you do it, you subscribe to it like the full thing for the season, and then you back off, right?
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, they have a base package, but then you can add the sports channels. Like I like having Goal Line and Red Zone. In fact, my way to watch NFL games, if it's not my favorite team, like if I'm not watching the Jaguars, Duval, by the way, I like to watch Red Zone, and it's a great thing to have. And you don't have to subscribe to the Sunday Ticket to get Red Zone. You just do Red Zone, which is awesome. So I add Red Zone. I add the 4K package because the prime time, whatever the main game is for that weekend, is in 4K on ESPN now. So like this past week, Clemson Georgia events was in 4K. You're muted.
I can get some 4K on Direct TV when it's actually working.
Yeah. Kilo also agrees. YouTube TV is the best. So you got Chris from Spear Addicts and Kilo and myself all telling you the same thing.
Let's do a quick plug here because we got a number of marching Chiefs over here in the cam. Hey, Chiefs. Wave to the camera, Chiefs. Yeah, so
send the Chiefs all the damn time.
Yeah, they sent the Chiefs to our tailgate apparently, which is fine. We had some food for them and some non-alcoholic drinks, of course, because they have a job to do. But just to kind of point people what's going on here for the rest of the day, we're going to be packing up here about what time, Ryan?
5:36.
Maybe a little before then, because Skull session with the Chiefs is at 5:15.
Well, I'm going to go in the Champions Club opens 2 hours before kickoff, which kickoff's at 7:30. So the club opens at 5:30. So we'll probably pack up 4:30 or 5, and I want to get in the air conditioning and enjoy the Champions Club.
Perfect. So we're probably going to be packing up here. I would say probably closer to 4:30ish then.
Yeah, about an hour from now.
So if you want to come by and say hi, that's great. We don't have any merch yet. That's coming, but we'd love to say hi to anybody that's here. Just come by and say hi, and also when you're done here, go over to Hauser at 5:15 for the Skull session with the Chiefs, and the first section to go on is the Horns, and I know that because my daughter's in that group. But for everybody that's always asking, it's every week we get this, not Garnet and Old, but on Facebook or whatever. Skull session is always 2 hours and 15 minutes before kickoff. So you take the kickoff time and you minus 2 hours and 15 minutes. That is what time Skull session starts. And make sure you're in there and you get a good seat.
And bring a portable fan and a hat. Vince, real quick, tell everyone what the Chiefs will be wearing today. This is an interesting one.
Yeah, the Chiefs are getting new uniforms, and they have been delayed. So the Chiefs today are wearing black shorts, their Chiefs white shirt, their white caps, and their new black band shoes. So they're going to look a little different. They're actually maybe be a little happier that they're not wearing the full uniform. Although I know they probably would prefer having the new unis here. But keep an eye out for that because it's coming soon. The Chiefs are going to look a little different, and that's good. The uniforms were it took a while to design them. People voted on them.
You can actually see the uniforms right there.
And you this is what they're wearing. This is what they're wearing. This is what the Chiefs are wearing today.
Yep.
What?
Come say hello.
Yeah, come say hello.
Paper towels.
Yeah.
I thought they were a fan.
She's doing this like stretch this out. We need to vamp a little bit. But that's what they're wearing today. But there's a lot of there in the Florida State fan base. There's like this split between traditionalism and I want all new stuff. The Chiefs are going to have new unis this year. They look sharp. I've seen them, and you're going to be very impressed when you see them. Do not pine for the old stuff. Trust me, those were falling apart.
They were that bad, huh?
Yeah, it's been 12, 13 years they've been wearing them, I think. Maybe more.
I did like those designs, though. It was nice. Vince,
what's that?
I did like the designs, though.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they were beautiful.
Yeah. All right, Vince, final thoughts. We're a few hours from game time.
Guinness is good for you. One of the final thoughts.
You're going to walk out of Doak Campbell, guys, and hopefully we're talking about a win. Because if not, when we do our post game tomorrow, you will see it real quick switch to a different tone. And I really don't want to have that tone. I really want to be positive and I want to think after this game, Vince, my overall opinion, I want to think, man, what a fluke that Georgia Tech performance was. That's what I want to walk out thinking.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about what a fluke, but like we are on the right track. I don't think what happened in Georgia Tech necessarily was a fluke as per se. It's just part of the step toward what this team needs to become. But man, if it does not turn out well tonight, we are still going to do all the things we said we were going to do, Ryan.
We will.
But it's going to be
harder.
Garnet and Old, no inside info, no contact. We had a lot of problems, and now you're going to hear about them.
Yeah, but hopefully not. Hopefully walk out of there, and hey, we're tweeting out. Follow us, by the way, at Big Papa East, at VCNO on X.
Yeah.
I think the best way to handle this, Vince, before we do our pregame on a Sunday, that we give our immediate reaction on X each.
Like a video or just
no. Tweet out like instant reaction. Here's my overall take. We're going to talk about it live tomorrow.
One word reaction.
No. Emoji reaction. And then I'll follow it up with, hey, full take tomorrow on the post game show. But I do want to give people our immediate take, and it's real easy to type it out.
Yeah, that's fine. Let me add this. This is true. Jeff Hill, if we lose today, how much are off the internet and not watch TV for a while? But I don't see that happening. Yeah, let me tell you, first of all, there's a lot of chirping going on online, as there always is. And if you've been talking a lot of smack for the last 9 months, you basically wore it for the last week. And you asked for it, so you gotta take it. But if it happens again tonight, you might want to log off for a little while because it's not going to be pretty.
I have a 48-hour rule myself so if we ever have a rough game, I generally step away, aside from our show, for 48 hours off social media.
Yeah.
And I get real mad and in my thoughts about how frustrated I am with our performance like I did with Georgia Tech. But then once usually Tuesday or Wednesday hits, I'm so focused on like planning and what's coming up for the upcoming game.
Yeah.
That you kind of start thinking like, well, you can't do anything about that last game now. So what do we got going forward? And that's what – but I really want to walk out of the stadium tonight with a positive view on the season. And if we lose, it would be impossible for me to have one. In fact, if we lost tonight, I would think we're looking more at a 7 or 8 win season, which is not what I want to have happen.
No. I mean, don't if that happens, then don't take out your frustration on people you don't know. Yeah, don't take it out on us. I mean, we've already told you we have no inside info and no contacts. So, but I don't think that's going to happen tonight. I think the team is going to come out and they're going to play. They're going to play well enough. I'm not saying they're going to play great. They're going to play well enough. They can play better than last week, and because of that, they're going to play well enough to win. And I think, while they may not cover the spread, I think it'll be close.
Well, Vince, it's been a great pregame show. I think the play is right now, since we already got this table and chair set up over here, I think we maybe should take down the tents, put them away, and then make it
and just hang out in here.
Yeah.
And just hang down in here. And while we close this out, those of you that are over here, hey Chiefs. Hey Chiefs. It's Garnet and Old. No inside info.
No contacts.
No contacts. No problem.
And send Chiefs all the damn time.
Send Chiefs all the damn time. We need to work on that.
We need to work on it. We need more involvement. I lacked the emotion there.
No, there wasn't. Well, they're too busy. That's why. They're too busy over there.
I mean,
taking pictures and actually having fun at the tailgate.
Vince, I want to go knock over that speaker.
We do have some food left, by the way.
I want to go knock over that speaker at that other tailgate or steal it.
Man, if you are in lot 12, going back to the beginning of the show, if you are in lot 12 and you decided that the rest of the world needed to hear the music that you were playing, you're wrong.
Real quick, Mr. Trauma Boy, hoping for a big win tonight, but we still love you guys either way. Go Noles. Absolutely. But
thank you, Trauma Boy.
Guys, it's been real. Vince and I got to wrap
great.
it up here at the Garnet Old Tailgate in lot 12. But hey, let's hope for a win. Again, no inside info, no contacts, no problem. And send the Chiefs all the damn time, Vince. Go Noles, man. Let's go for a win,
Noles.
Guys.
Let's go.